Shemel Shai. Yahweh Shemel Shai.
So special.
Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
Psalm 30. I will extol thee, O Lord, for thou hast lifted me up, and hast not made my foes to rejoice over me. O Lord my God, I cried unto thee, and thou hast healed me.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachah Kodash. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father in the ancient Hebrew. Yahweh Shai is the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Bahashem means in the name, all right, in the name of, all right. So Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. All right, I want to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Hold on one second. Let me just make sure this is off. Okay. All right. Yeah, basically this, just wanted to touch on this whole Nashville bomb. All right, a Nashville explosion situation, and the information that's coming out on it. Okay, which, when this happened, all right, of course we were watching to see how this goes, so on and so forth. But as things go on, all right, we're slowly seeing, all right, how Esau, how the left hand is bringing out more and more information, which they always do. Okay, and we got to keep our eye out, because we know we're in that time when they are going to try and persecute us and try to demonize us and call us terrorists and so on and so forth, even though we're innocent. All right, here it is. You have the so-called best intelligence in the world, but yet if we're such evil individuals, how are we still walking around freely this long ass time? All right, and they're trying to find a way, okay, to tie us in and try to criminalize us so that they can have a legal justification to physically grab us up. Okay, and the Lord did say these things would happen. All right, so though we're innocent, they are still going to come after us, and that's why they need situations, they need events, they need to create a narrative that they can control, one that touches upon the fear, all right, and the emotions of the people. And then if they can turn, because the elder was bringing out at camp today how basically the public enemy now, all right, is shifted towards the public is looking at the government as the enemy, because the stimulus check is running out and they're not signing a deal. All right, more and more information is coming out with this whole situation, the C-19 situation, the vaccines. There's so much information coming out, all right, that's not really putting these people, the government, in a good light. All right, and people's trust, all right, in the authorities is going down. So now they need what? They need another public enemy to unify the people, so that they can have somebody to point the finger at and blame all the hell that's going to happen economically and everything to that. They need a scapegoat. Okay, so we're watching to see, all right, what are they going to come out and say? Because it's not by coincidence that for the past few years, every time around this time of the year, getting to the beginning of the next year, they come out and they have some form of attack or some form of propaganda, and they tie us in there. They call us BHI and Black Hebrew Israelites and all of that, which we're none of that. All right, we're not Black Hebrew Israelites. All right, we're Israelites. Okay, so when they add that title, it's so that they can put a stigma on us. Okay, but here it is. If we're such evil people, how are we gonna preach against murder and preach against all these different things that you shouldn't do? We preach that you should wait upon our Lord, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, but we're gonna turn around and go do something like this? It doesn't add up. But once again, they need a narrative to sell to the people so they can be justified in coming after us. Now, I'm not saying they're gonna come out and say that or try to tie us into this, but it is a possibility, all right, because Esau's number one people that he's trying to eliminate is us. Okay, it's not it's us, and they're trying to find a way to where they can do it with their hands clean, but it's getting harder and harder. Okay, now as a matter of fact, I'm going to start off with this precept here, and then we're going to read about the article, because as we read, it's going to tell you how one of the locations where they went is Antioch. Okay, Antioch, and the elder mentioned in the group chat is very interesting how these names they're using, And as the scriptures say, the disciples were first called Christians in Antioch, and we know what happened to them when the persecution came. Okay. Now, let's see. This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 15. It says, but let none of you, actually I'll start at verse 12. This is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12. All right, it says, beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. All right, so when these things, whatever it may be that comes, we already know. The Lord has already warned us ahead of time. All right, so don't think as though it's a strange thing. All right, the scriptures tell you when you come to serve the Lord, you got to prepare your soul for temptation. Verse 13, it says, but rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's suffering. Why? Because when they come after us and they demonize us and your family members look at you different and people, want to kill you and, you're looked at in a negative light, that's all because of Yahushua. All right. It's not because of you, because they don't even know you. All right. Hey, you could be the coolest individual, but the reason they would hate you is because of what you teach. Is because you're an Israelite, or you go out there and you teach the word of the Lord. Because of that, they have basically put a negative stigma on being an Israelite, which is related to what? Yahushua. It's tied into Yahushua. Okay. So basically, you are suffering, all right, or you are partaking of Hamashiach's suffering because he was also persecuted. So if you are a follower of Yahushua, you're going to be persecuted because you're a follower of him. It says that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. All right. So rejoice when they come at your door and they persecute you and so on and so forth. At least the Lord is doing something. The Lord is finally getting the ball rolling, and that means he's setting us up for the victory. Okay. Like in boxing, you set the person up so they could throw that one, weak punch or, that wide whatever, and you could counter it. So that's what the Lord is doing. He's setting us up for the victory. He's setting that counter up. Okay. But what does the Lord always do? He raises up the enemy so that he can bring them down and his name can be magnified, just as he did to Pharaoh. So seeing these things, we're not supposed to fret. All right. So it says, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. If ye be reproached for the name of Hamashiach, happy are ye. See? So we're teaching this. Why would we turn around and go do something stupid to where we're going to be reproached for doing something stupid? We're supposed to suffer for the name of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, not for being an evildoer. It says, for the spirit of glory and of the Most High resteth upon you. On their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. See? So we're not supposed to go and commit murder and steal and do stupid things to where we got to suffer for that. If you suffer for the gospel's sake. Verse 16, yet if any man suffer as a Christian, and once again, the location was what? Antioch, which in the scriptures it tells you that was the disciples were first called Christians at Antioch. It says, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify the Most High on this behalf. Okay, so now let's go read this article. So it says, FBI at home of possible person of interest in Nashville bomb. All right, which when they did that whole Jersey shooting, they came over to brothers' houses. Okay, but they knew that they didn't have anything on us. Okay, so hey, did they go and try to do some more digging and try to tie different things in to say, all right, we came back with a better case. Now we're going to do it this way and then slowly tie them in? We don't know. All right. But we won't be surprised if they come out and say, oh, we found a piece of paper, or we found in his web browser history or his text or this that he's in agreement with Hebrew Israelites, or he believes in this, or whatever the case may be. All right. So we have to watch and see. So it says Nashville, Tennessee. All right. Federal agents converged Saturday on the home of a possible person of interest in the explosion that rocked downtown Nashville. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. So it says, as investigators scored hundreds of tips and leads in the blast that pulverized city blocks on Christmas morning and damaged dozens of buildings. Now you gotta, first off, they already watching us. All right, they already watching us. They already have information on us. You read Project Megiddo, they got all that, right? All this BS that they're making up about us. In order for you to get your hands on a bomb or ingredients to make an explosive, that is something that they can trace. All right, they can see where you're going. They can see what your recent purchases are. They can freaking watch you from your phone camera or your laptop camera. They probably watch me right now as I'm doing this sit down. Okay, so you're gonna tell me that as you can see and find out every single bit of information this individual is doing, you couldn't stop them. You're gonna allow us, right? If I'm hypothetically speaking here, all right, because we know we didn't do anything, but nonetheless, if they do come out and say that it was related to us, you're gonna allow somebody who's already on your watch list to go and buy all these ingredients, all right, to make a bomb, and allow them to go there and leave it in the RV and then all this extra stuff? Come on, man. All right, they're gonna come after us because it's prophecy, man. It's not gonna make sense on their part, okay, because Esau is the devil, and we already know how he works. He's gonna try to deceive. He's gonna try to frame us. All right, could he use this? He could. Could he use something else? He could. Could there be another attack? And then they could do whatever. But right now we gotta watch and see, because they need a way to get us out of the picture. Why? Because the narrative that they're trying to push, they're getting closer to the critical moment when they need to have full control of the narrative to push it on the public minds. They can't have people like us doing videos like I'm doing, telling people the truth of the matter of the fact. Okay? So it says, more than 24 hours after the explosion, a motive remained elusive as investigators worked round the clock to resolve unanswered questions about the mysterious blast. And what that is a chance for them to tie up whatever they need to tie up, fabricate whatever they need to fabricate, and then slowly release that information as if they're doing an investigation. Now we're getting closer. Or more like they already have it and they're releasing it little by little to feed you the story as if, there's this big old thing going on. We know how they work. All right, just look at their history. It says, which took place on a mostly deserted street on a sleepy holiday morning, and was prefaced by a warning advising those nearby to evacuate. Okay. All right. It says, still, there were signs of progress in the investigation as the FBI revealed that it was looking at a number of individuals who may be connected to the investigation. Officials also said no additional explosive devices have been found, indicating no active threat in the area. Investigators have received around 500 tips and leads. It says here, it's just going to take us some time. Douglas Korneski, the special agent in charge of the FBI's Memphis field office, said at a Saturday afternoon news conference. Our investigative team is turning over every stone to understand who did this and why. All right, that is the main point. Who did this and why? Were they influenced? Is there something that they're listening to? Is it, It says around the same time, investigators from multiple federal and local law enforcement agencies were at a home in Antioch. Interesting location with an interesting name. In suburban Nashville, after receiving information relevant to the investigation, said FBI Special Agent Jason Pack. Another law enforcement official, who was not authorized to discuss an ongoing investigation, and spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity, said investigators regard a person associated with the property as a person of interest. All right. It says here they could be seen looking around the property, searching the home and the backyard. Okay. It says here that they found human remains. All right, at the scene. Basically now to tie it in that, there were casualties and, such and such happened and so on and so forth. Now, I'm not going to read the whole article. Okay. Just skimming through a bit. It says here, asked whether the AT&T building could have been a possible target, Korneski said, we're looking at every possible motive that could be involved. Okay? All right, so there we go. They're looking at every possible motive, and that's really pretty much all I'm going to read on this. I'll put the article in the I'll put the link to this article in the description. But we already know, once again, what Esau's agenda is. All right, we know where they're trying to go with it. We already understand that. All right, so let's get a couple of precepts, because the Lord forewarned us. We're dealing with the devil here. Okay, so what is his specialty? Deception, to lie convincingly. Okay, so this is Psalms 37 and 32. It says, the wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him. All right, let's look up the word seeketh. All right, it says here, bakwash, to seek, desire, request, to seek to secure, desire, all right, to be sought. So they seek to slay us, but they can't just come out and just grab us up and arrest us and just for what? What have we done wrong? See, so they want to slay us, but you need a justification, because you can't just come and just murder us. You need a justification. How do you get the public on your side so that you can be justified in slaying us or coming after us and so on and so forth? Well, you have to paint us as what? The enemy. So they watch us, all right? They watch the news that's coming out, the information, the scriptures that we're going into. They know who we are, all right? And that's all the more reason why they're trying to get rid of us. Okay, they see people waking up, all right, the prophecy in Ezekiel 37 being fulfilled, and they're afraid. Okay, so they seek to slay us so they can get rid of us, as how Pharaoh sought, and it's spiritual. Okay, it's very spiritual how we're in the last Egypt. Okay, spiritual Egypt, and just like we were in the first Egypt, what Pharaoh sought to slay the firstborns of every child. All right, because what? They feared that we would become an exceeding great army, and if there was another nation that came against Pharaoh, we would join with them and overthrow the Egyptians. So they feared us becoming a mighty army, because they already knew that we were strong, by nature. And it's the same thing now. These devils fear, these modern day pharaohs, they fear Ezekiel 37 happening, but it's happening before their eyes. So they're looking for a way. They're seeking to slay us. Okay, they're seeking to cut us off from being a people by whatever means necessary. Now, in ancient Egypt, Pharaoh had set up the midwives. All right, today, because what? The midwives would have the closest access to the firstborns. If there was a Hebrew, slay him. All right, today Esau sets up these sold out Israelite so-called leaders. All right, he sets up all these different ways that can get close. Okay, they can get close to us and mislead the sheep. Okay. He sends agent provocateurs in. All right. So basically, Pharaoh tried to turn the midwives into agents to go and kill the babies. All right. And what happened? The Lord delivered us. He delivered us from the hands of Pharaoh. But if the Lord didn't raise up Pharaoh and harden his heart and make him chase us and come after us, okay, that great deliverance wouldn't have been that great deliverance. So it's the same thing, except this time the Lord is going to deliver us, okay. And it's going to be, it's going to triumph the deliverance that he gave us back in Egypt. And what happened after the Lord delivered us in Egypt? His name got known. The fear of his name was put throughout the whole earth. And that's what's going to happen this time again. So moving on, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 4, verse 2, actually, verse 1. It says, hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. When you go to Micah 2:1, it tells you how what? They devise iniquity upon their beds. All right, so they have secret counsels. All right, these wicked, Malachi 1 and 3 and 4, it tells you who the wicked is, Esau, Edom. And they're in rulership right now. So as King David is saying, hide me, all right, from the counsel, the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. And did it not say in 2nd Ezra that there shall be a great insurrection, all right, upon those that fear the Lord? Okay, let's look up that word. It says scheming. Okay, it says scheming. So basically, as King David is saying, hide me from the wicked scheming of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. All right. And them demonizing us is they use bitter words to do that. All right. It says here to sharpen. All right. So they sharpen their tongue like a sword, and they bend their bows and shoot their arrows, even bitter words that will turn people against us, words that'll try to justify their wicked actions. But we know we're innocent, and guess what? The ultimate judge knows we're innocent, because we're only doing what the Lord asks us to do. What harm is there in us teaching the Bible? So why are you coming after us so hard? Because there must be something we're doing that's affecting you. All right, verse 4 says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Okay, so they devise these secret counsels so that they can suddenly pull up and just boom. But guess what? There's nothing you can do that's going to touch the Lord's elect. The Lord said, touch not mine anointed and do my prophets no harm. So we're good, man. And plus, we got more on our side than you. All right, do you know how much damage just one angel can do? And the Lord has all these angels, these chariots surrounding us. The scriptures say the angels encamp round about them that love the Lord. All right. And they protect us. So what damage can you really do? If you come and you are actually able to physically grab us up, the Lord allowed the angels to stand down so that you could, that part in our story could be fulfilled. But if the Lord has said that you are not going to touch us, there's nothing you can do. All right. We got to think about it like that, man. We got angels, we got spiritual bodyguards surrounding us 24/7. Okay, and unless the Lord tells them to stand down so that prophecy can be fulfilled, there's no harm that can touch us, man. All right. Now this is the book of Matthew chapter 5 verse 11, and this is what the Lord said. It says, "Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you." Now let's look this up. All right, revile. It says here to reproach, upbraid. All right, to reproach. Okay, now it says, "Blessed are you when men shall revile you and persecute you and say all manner of evil against you falsely." That's the key part. Falsely, for my sake. So all these the propaganda and all the things they're gonna bring is gonna be false. Okay, it's gonna be false. Why? Because we're teaching in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. So they're gonna what? They're gonna say all manner of evil against us. Okay? And they're gonna turn the minds of the public to try and look at us as though we're some evil bad guys. But what's evil about teaching our people who they are? Okay? It's evil when to the wicked because they know that it's gonna bring out the truth on them. So it's gonna create a bad time, evil. All right, Ev meaning a time and ill meaning bad. So it's gonna create a bad time for them. And that's why what? They're going to speak all manner of evil against us. They're going to cause people to revile us and come after us. All right. They're going to use psyop. Okay. They're going to try and break you with the anticipation. They're going to come at your loved ones. They're going to come and try to turn brothers on another. All right. And some people will turn. Okay. Some people will turn. Some people might, get deceived. Okay. And ultimately in this time, the Lord is going to let his elect be known. All right, there's going to be a key distinction that you're not going to be able to break the elect. You're not going to be able to sell them out. You're not going to be able to do any of that, man. Okay. All right, verse 12. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. So that's what you got to think about, man. When they start coming after you, they start demonizing you. Guess what? That's more rewards for us in the world to come, which is very soon. All right. So be it, man. I mean, what do you have here that's so great that you want to forsake the kingdom for? You know, it says, "For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you." All right, and they did persecute the prophets that were before us the same way, and that's why we're able to make these comparisons from now to what back then, because it's similar, man. It's like a two parallel lines, same formula, same equation, different numbers. All right, moving on. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 10. And this is a prophecy, all right, that the Lord did tell us that what? We were going to be cast into prison. But notice one thing in common throughout all these precepts is what? The name of the Lord. That we were going to suffer persecution for the name of the Lord. All right, that we were going to catch hell for the name of the Lord. This is Revelation 2 and 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Now we know that this devil is not talking about Satan, the actual spiritual demon. Why? Because the actual spiritual demon is not going to grab us up and throw us into behind metal bars, or into a concentration camp, or into solitary confinement, or into any of that. All right, this is talking about his physical counterpart, which is what? The ultimate deceivers of the world, which are Esau, Edom, today known as the so-called Caucasian race. All right, it says that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. So what does it mean that ye may be tried? So that what? The Lord can test us. All right, so the Lord can see, okay, what are you made of? How far are you willing to go? They're going to catch some of us. They're going to throw some of us into prison. They're going to execute some of us. Some of us are going to be broken out of prison. You know, the Lord, just like the Lord delivered Peter, just like the Lord delivered Daniel from the lion's den, just like the Lord delivered Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego from the fire, and just like the Lord delivered our ancestors of old, he's going to do the same for us. All right. For those that do get executed is because it's for prophecy's sake. All right. Some of us are going to flee. All right. They're not going to catch some of us. Some of us, they're going to come, and the Lord is going to lift up a standard right away. Okay. But the ultimate message is what? Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Fear not, because the Most High can take your life, and he can restore life to you in an instant. Look at what happened with Paul. All right, Paul got stoned to death, and the Lord put his spirit back into his body so he could come back. Now, of course, the Lord had to heal his body first, because if you got stoned to death, you would have, damages from the stone, the rocks. All right, so we have to be faithful unto death, and the scriptures talk about suffering wrongfully. Okay, because when they do come after us, we're going to be suffering wrongfully. When Nero persecuted, he blamed the Christians for the fire in Rome, they suffered wrongfully. All right, because what did they do? They were teaching the doctrine of Yahushai, of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. But did that mean that they should have been thrown to lions? All right, that they should have been crucified, they should have been burnt alive? Because you see, here's the thing. When you go out, of course, we're on the highways and byways, but you also have some of these phony pastors that walk out there with microphones. You have Jehovah's Witness. You have all these other so-called Christian groups and denominations that go out there with their mics and they do that. Why don't they get demonized? Why don't they get called a hate group and all that? Why? Because they're going according to the curriculum of Esau. We are the ones that are telling the full truth, nothing but the truth, exactly how it should be told. That is a problem because they cannot control us. All right. Now this is the book of Psalms, chapter 11, verse 2. It says, "For lo, the wicked bend their bow, they make ready their arrow upon the sting, that they may privily shoot at the upright in heart." Okay, and that's what they're doing. Because they're not gonna come out and say, "Hey, we're really trying to frame these people and have a justification, have some full legislation, get a warrant to break into their houses and do this, that, and the third." No, they try to make it seem as though, oh, we're just doing this for the safety of the public. All right. Once again, if they come out and they somehow link this to us, then they're gonna pitch the case of, well, it's about the safety. We don't know if they're gonna do it again. Oh, they already have a history of blah 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 blah. They tried using the shooting in Jersey City, but they couldn't get anything on us. Okay, so they put it on the blocks. There's a lot of different accounts, all right, of either agents or rogue individuals that they try to tie in to Israelites, and they have that on the books, and they've been piling it up to have just the perfect time, just the perfect event, and just the perfect narrative to link it all in and say, well, if they did this now and they had a history, look, they did this year. They did this the year before. They did this time and nothing happened. Nobody did anything about it. And now this is what they did. If we leave them, this is what they will do. Okay? He is called the deceiver for a reason. They know how to deceive, or else they wouldn't have been able to deceive the world for this long. Okay? So ultimately, according to prophecy, let the left hand do what they got to do so the right hand could checkmate them. All right? So we are not to fear, man. Just keep your eyes open and watch and see, where this thing goes. All right. and trust and have the faith in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, so with that, I hope you were edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakha Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.